Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of SAC Talk. This is your host, Anna Chiara, and today we will talk about the connection between parenthood and life satisfaction. In simple words, do people with kids have a greater life satisfaction compared to people who do not, or vice versa? I will talk about and summarize several research papers that have been published and peer-reviewed about this topic. And then, based on these papers, you guys can make your own mind. Okay, let's get right into it. The first research article that I will talk about is titled Childlessness, Parenthood, and Subjective Well-Being. The relevance of conceptualizing parenthood and childlessness as a continuum. It's by Marco Albertini and Bruno Arpino. They recruited 183,000 individuals from 21 different countries who answered a survey that specifically looked at the consequences of non-parenthood in all their life. They looked at subjective well-being as the outcome of interest, but taking into consideration community, mutual aid, and respect and other family members. The study aims to gather information about individuals aged 50 and above who are not residing in institutions. And furthermore, the survey is designed to be representative of this population group. So what the researchers found is that in terms of explanatory variables, men and women in the sample who are parents tend to report higher subjective well-being compared to those without children. Individuals in the research stated that they have 2 children and at least 1 child living nearby. However, a significant percentage of parents have children who live far away, more than 25 kilometers, or they have infrequent contact with their children. In this particular research study, they found that geographical distance does not appear to have a clear impact on subjective well-being. However, parents with infrequent contact with their children report lower levels of subjective well-being compared to those who have more frequent contact with their children, as well as childless individuals. So in these particular research studies, the results show that both men and women experience higher levels of satisfaction compared to childless people. However, parents who are not in contact frequently with their children do experience less levels not higher levels of satisfaction compared to parents who are in contact with their children. Another article called Old Age Trajectories of Life Satisfaction. Do singlehood and childlessness hurt more when people get older? By Malgorzata Mikuka et al. I'm probably not pronouncing this name correctly, but yeah. So this study as well investigates the impact of singlehood and childlessness on life satisfaction in older adults. And they sampled 723 men, 919 women, aged 60 to 74, and 386 women and 255 men aged 75 to 89 years old. And the data was collected through telephone interviews, in-person surveys, and web surveys as well. In this study, contrarily to the first study that I mentioned before, they found that childlessness did not significantly affect life satisfaction compared to being a parent, regardless of marital status. However, what they found in this study is that people who were married or they were in a partnership, relationship, they reported an increase in life satisfaction compared to people who were divorced or were single. Interestingly, they also found that parenthood had a protective effect during a transition to widowhood for men, but not for women. And during divorce, parenthood may be an additional source of stress rather than a resource. So, in conclusion, the research study found no difference no difference in life satisfaction in between people who have children, people who do not have children. However, they did find a different level of life satisfaction on people who were married or were in a relationship compared to people who were not married nor in a relationship. The third article that I want to talk about is Parenthood and Life Satisfaction. Why don't children make people happy? Published by Matthias Pohlmann-Schuldt. So the data was collected via an annual survey from 1994 to 2010 and measured not only life satisfaction and parenthood status, but also family structure and employment status, with a total participant of 37,000 approximately. In this study, they found that the positive effects of children on life satisfaction may be suppressed to some extent by the financial cost of child rearing. They did find a small effect size on having children and overall life satisfaction. So there is a small effect size, so we are not considering that statistically significant. However, there is a small difference, about 0.3 between parents and non-parents on life satisfaction. But overall, the study found that, there's no, the overall life satisfaction of having children is not statistically significant compared to people who do not have children. And they did find that the cost of maintaining the children can suppress the potential benefits of what comes with being a parent. So there are many research studies on parenthood, childlessness, and these related topics, and all of them have mixed data. We don't have an answer. There's no conclusion. We don't know whether or not parenthood leads to a better life satisfaction, and whether or not childlessness leads to a worse or better life satisfaction. However, what we can do is looking at all these research studies, comparing them, and then making up your own mind and your own decision. So far, what we found among all these research studies, it was that being in a relationship leads to higher levels of satisfaction compared to people who are not in a relationship. So this is a very interesting variable that we found across all these research studies. And we also found that the type of relationship that you have with your children may have an impact on your life satisfaction. So maybe having children will increase your life satisfaction if you have a good relationship with them and if you have a frequent interaction with them. However, if you, let's say, do not have a good relationship with your children, or you have infrequent contacts with your children, you're not close to your children, then maybe your life satisfaction may go down, or you might have a less life satisfaction compared to people who do not have children. Maybe you're not heartbroken. Like maybe if you do not have children, you don't risk the heartbreak from not being able to have a close relationship with your children. We don't know, but this is the research. You can go on Google Scholar and look up, I don't know, parenthood versus childlessness, and you can look all the research studies, and all of them, some of them have same conclusions, some of them have different conclusions. And if you're curious about my opinion, I will say it right now. If you're not, you can just leave this episode and make up your own mind. But I do believe that children do increase your life satisfaction, especially when you're older, when you're like 50, 60 or 70, and you feel part of a family, you feel part of a community, you feel part of a group, and you see your children forming another family. And whenever there's, whenever it's Christmas time or like a birthday party or Easter time, you gather with your family, with all your family, and I think it feels nice to have that instead of just, let's say it's Christmas and you're like, oh damn, I'm 50 and I don't know who to spend my Christmas with because my parents are dead. I have friends, but they have a family, so they will spend their Christmas with their, family. And maybe that's why having a partner is linked to having a greater life satisfaction, because, in those times you can spend time with your partner and not alone. Yep, that's my opinion. And thank you for listening. I'll see you on the next episode of Sack Talk.